So today we're going to talk about price action trading. We're going to talk a little bit about the market phases, supply and demand. I'm going to share with you a very powerful setup that works. So supply and demand. Now you guys know I trade a lot with supply and demand. There's a lot of people on the internet talking about supply and demand, but I learned from several mentors, and I think the best way, in my opinion, to describe supply and demand is supply as aggressive selling, and then demand as aggressive buying. And it can be represented in the candlesticks. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to see the institution's footprints. What are they doing so we can jump on board for the ride? And when you see, in this case, there's 4 candles in a row, and again, I go with 3 for those of you. I'm not going to talk too much about supply and demand. I got tons of videos on it, but I like to see 3 and beyond, right? So in this case, it's 4, 4, but this represents aggressive buying and aggressive selling. So this is the 1 hour chart. It doesn't really matter, but I just want to kind of illustrate this on the screen. So here we go. For example, and there's a lot more stuff in this, but you see this right there. Boom, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is aggressive selling. So that creates a supply zone. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. So I would note that as aggressive buying. So when you see like this red, white, red, nah, that's nothing. What we're looking for is the institutions to step in and visually see it on the chart. So if you look at it right now, again, this is oil, doesn't really matter, but 1, 2, 3, that's aggressive buying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's aggressive buying. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's aggressive selling. All right, so the next concept I want you to understand is market phases. I'm not going to go into great detail about this. I do in plenty of videos, but you got to understand this. The market has 3 phases. The contraction phase is the setup of the market. Low institutional volume. The market maker's doing two-way business. It's setting up. Right after the expansion, right after the contraction phase comes the expansion phase. So it comes out, comes down, boom. So this is the stage that's the play. This is where it starts expanding, and this is where retail traders get chopped up. But if you understand the phases and the way that I teach it, there is an opportunity in there. And then phase 3 is the trending phase. And so one of the things that I talk about right here is at any one time, price is in one of these 3 phases. Your ability as a trader to recognize these 3 phases and which phase you're at is going to give you an edge, a super advantage over the rest. I'm going to share with you a very powerful signal. It's a price action signal that works, that they don't want to tell you about. I mean, once you practice this signal that I'm going to give you, it's going to change everything. Again, and you're going to remember supply and demand and put it all together. Let's just do this. Let's say this is a green candle like that. And let's just say this was in a supply zone. So what I'll do is I'm going to draw this as it's blue. Just say this is, I'm sorry, not a supply. Let's just say this is a demand zone. So price is, you know, coming back into a demand zone. And all of a sudden you see that candle. Okay, so that's the first candle. This is it can be a 3, 4, 5 candle pattern, but it's not a 1. So this is kind of like, okay. So now, let me turn this back to green. So let's say the next candle looks like this. And what it is, so you got this low, and then all of a sudden you notice this low is higher than this low. This creates my pivot low. This is what I call the swing low. This is what I teach my students all the time. This is the swing low. This is the pivot low. So you want to see that low when it's coming down into this area get higher. Let's go to the next one, and I'm going to make this one, we'll draw it first. So let's say this one right here. Now I want to make this red, so just envision this as a big red candle. At some time, this candle looks like that, right? So it's coming down, and it breaks this low. Now, let's kind of go back. So that's what it looks like sometime throughout the day. It's down here, but then what it does, well, let me do this. Kind of go here, and then boom, it shoots back up, and by the end of the day, now this doesn't matter if it's a red or green candle, but let me share with you what I'm talking about. So you see this low right here. So we have the swing low, the pivot low, and then remember, this candle trades below this low. So it's a nasty red candle, but then it steps up, buyers step in, and they push it up. Now this candle does not have to look like a pin bar. It doesn't matter, but what matters is sellers drove the price lower than that low, and then buyers stepped in and price closed above that low. That is a smart money trap. And when you see these smart money traps at supply and demand areas, and this example is demand, it is so powerful. This price action signal, this will make you, not a recommendation to buy or sell, but this will make you a lot of money if you incorporate this with supply and demand and trend, all right? If you'd like to learn more about trading options, I encourage you to check out my Options Elite Masterclass and all the bonuses that I'm giving away this month, like my TTM Squeeze course for free, plus that Forecast Pro indicator. I'm giving that away free this month to anybody who gets my Options Elite Masterclass. So check down below in the description if that interests you. Now, if you like the TTM Squeeze Pro indicator, click right here.